Alright folks, I wanted to record this playback because this game was insane, specifically the ending, but there's a lot of build-up and a lot of tension in this game. We are playing against Mattos, who is always on MonoBlue. They're a pretty prominent player, but our hand was, just the game was very, very well played by both players, and it came down to the wire, and I had a line that was kind of crazy at the very end. Probably the best line I've ever had, in a game of Magic. But I'm a little proud of it. Not to toot any horns or anything. But at the beginning of this game, I played a Squadron Hawk, and I'm glad it stuck. As well as also getting rid of his Delver, which is really important against MonoBlue. When they're on the Delver plan, their game plan is to play it, stick it, and protect it, and just beat you down. If they don't have any pressure on the board, they have to play from behind. And since we, as the MonoWhite player, put pressure on the board, they had to react to it the entire time. So we start using these Squadron Hawks to, again, just apply pressure and start controlling the flow of the game. Of note, we're also playing around Spell Stutter Sprite this whole time. So for example, you see I used a less efficient removal spell, an Oblivion Ring, to exile the creature there so that he couldn't counter it with Spell Stutter Sprite. Now it turns out he may or may not have had it this whole time. He played a bunch of them at the very end of the game, but we'll get to that in a second. Doesn't look like he had another counter spell there at all, and if he did, it would have been a Spell Stutter, which would have been useless against the Core Skyfisher. So he's working to flip the Delver. He's working this Mystic Sanctuary. Okay. The ninja hits. Now this turn I have to navigate the turn in a way in which I can resolve a spell. So I knew he was going to counter this with Deprive, but then I played another one and bounced the Bajuka Bog to exile the Mystic Sanctuary loop. And he's going to go back to it over and over and over, which is one of the... It's probably their main card advantage engine after Gush was banned, and I think it's pretty sweet and relatively fair because it does a similar thing with backing up on tempo, but upping the card advantage. Opponent has uses his snaps and his Echoing Truce really well in this game. But of note, if I can remember correctly, he doesn't ever get a bunch of value off the Echoing Truths. And now that I see that he used Snap instead of a Spell Stutter against the Sunlance, kind of makes me think in hindsight that he never had one, but I think it's still proper to play around it. So things start to look south for me here once I start making these attacks that are a little bit, this is basically the last one that's fruitful, in which he uses combat tricks to start kind of blowing me out in a way. I'll be honest, I also thought about scooping quite a few times towards the end of this match, but I decided I wasn't going to do that, and that I was going to kind of play this out and see how it resolved. So this is a big turn right here, where he snaps the Core Skyfisher, and I get him down to 3. Now he doesn't have any more counter spells, so I'm gonna start looping these Thraben Inspectors to draw cards. And this Sentinel Eyes, it becomes incredibly important later on towards the end of this match here. Now, of note, he's got a Ninja of the Deep Hours in his hand, and he's gonna start abusing the shit out of those. And he's gonna draw like 3 of them, and also start playing the Affinity for Islands creature, or whatever the hell it's called. So this is a bad combat step for me, right? I wanted him to block the Core Skyfisher and take the damage. It just didn't shake out that way. So there's the first Spire Golem. I take the block because I don't want him to hit with the ninja, and I've got the clue, so I figured that we'd be even on cards. I want him to have to tap out and hard cast the clue, the ninja. So I block here again, so he doesn't have a ninja in play, because I know that I can put the Sentinel Eyes back on the Thraben Inspector and get in, forcing a block, which he does take. He thinks about it, and he reverses blocks and goes back to blocks and takes the block, because he's like, okay, well, I can just start bashing in with the Spire Golem. Hey, stop that. So now he starts getting in with Ninja over and over and over. And at this point, it seems like there's not much that I can do. But there's a really pivotal turn here where he snaps bounces the Loyal Cathar. And you'll see kind of how it plays out here. So this is what's going to win me the game, the Acacian Javelineer. He's going to bounce the Loyal Cathar. Get in with all of his dudes. Shoot a ninja into play. Draw 3 cards. Play a land, play a Spire Golem. Alright, let's pause it here. So, I played a Loyal Cathar to bait a counterspell. Then I played a Sentinel Eyes on my dude to bait another counterspell. He takes the bait and casts a Spellstutter Sprite and counters it. Mistake number 1 from the opponent. Counters a Sentinel's Eyes. I cast it again. Again, he takes the bait. Counters it with another Spellstutter. At this point, I'm thinking, oh my god, I just won the game. Because the line is that I cast a Journey to Nowhere on the Spire Golem. I cast an Oblivion Ring on one of the Spellstutter sprites. And the stars aligned, basically. I cast the Sentinel Eyes again on the Acacian Javelineer. I attack with Vigilance before blockers. I shoot down the Spellstutter Sprite and deal lethal damage. GG's, Mattos. GG's.